Hello, guys. It's Scott with MSM Adventures. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about my Trek FX. This is the FX 7.2, and this is kind of a 5-year review on this bike. Now it would be, they dropped the 7, so the newer version is just the FX, be the 2. Really good bang for the buck bike. This bike has served me well. As a lot of you guys know, I'm what we would consider in the Clydesdale class, and then some. So I'm right about 275 pounds right now, down a little bit from my high. This bike has helped. I've been riding it pretty much every day to work when I haven't been riding the fat bike lately. So if it's not snowy and icy, I've been riding this bike. I would say at least a couple thousand miles. I've kind of lost track of the exact miles on it. But I just wanted to run over some of the things I've done to it, some things that if you are a heavier rider you may want to do. But it's really a great, I think this bike's around, what, $500-600 off the showroom floor. So, I mean, bang for the buck. It's got some good components, and I think you're going to like it. So let's just kind of walk through from the front to back what I've done and what you may want to do. Fenders, it's up to you, but if you're a commuter, I would definitely go with fenders. These are the SKS fenders. They've got a nice low mud guard down there. And I'll just kind of walk it to the back too. This is a toe peak rack, and I've got a hot shot cycle light, tail light. All of this stuff has really worked well. I've got the toe peak top bag that just slides into the rack. That works really well. And then I've gone with the Orleeb panniers that give me a little more space for commuting. So got a Surface seat that's worked out really well for me. This is my second Surface seat. It's got a nice, they call it the Infinite Comfort system, but for my wide sit bones, that works pretty well. Just a little bike case, phone holder. I find these really convenient just because it's like you have your phone, wallet, keys. Those are just the basics. That's what fits in there, and they're right at my fingertips. I've added the ergon grips. I've added a little bit extra bar tape. This just kind of gives you a lot of different hand positions. Recently, I've added these little mini aero bars just to give you a different hand position. It's also kind of nice because I can mount my light right there. And I've got the Bontrager cycle computer. And then one of my favorite features, the crane bell. I've got a crane bell, the brass one, on my fat bike, and I just love that thing. They're really well made, and that's one of the newest additions. And then just a Axiom handlebar bag helps to just have some things. I've got a lot of my tools and things like that in there, and it's also a spot where if you just need to shed off a shell or outer layer, works really well. But back to the bike itself, it's really been reliable. It's really, I've still got the original bottom bracket in it. I've got the original cassette, original cranks, everything. The only thing that I have changed out, and being a bigger guy, this is something I highly recommend if you're, heavier set. I went with the Velocity Dyad 36 spoke wheel, and this thing has been bulletproof. The first few hundred miles with this bike, I was on the stock rear rim. I was constantly tightening spokes. Eventually I broke a couple spokes, and I just had enough tinkering with it, and I went with this Velocity Dyad with a little bit wider tire. It's the 700C by 38 instead of 35, and that I haven't touched it since. It's been great. So worth the little investment in a rear wheel if you're a bigger guy. If you're lighter, smaller, probably not going to make any difference at all. And I didn't, the front wheel, the front tire is actually still original, and the rim and everything, rim brakes have worked really well. I've now gone to disc on the fat bike, and I absolutely love the disc, but I know most of the FXs now come with the disc, so don't have to worry about that. But I've really enjoyed disc brakes, but the rim brakes have worked just fine. So I keep them clean, keep them adjusted, and disc brakes work just fine. So, but yeah, so this is just a little overview on the FX series from Trek, and I think bang for the buck. It's one of those bikes that just it works for about 95% of the people out there. You know, it's just if you're just looking for a commuter bike, good hybrid bike for a little bit of gravel, lots of streets. It's been really nice. And so yeah, if you're commuting, just want to get in shape, get back into bicycle riding, which is exactly what I bought it for. It's been great. So I think I have actually moved on and got another bike, but I'm gonna keep this guy for a commuter, and just because I really enjoy it, and I've got it all set up exactly the way I want it. I've got the XU Star, however you pronounce that, pedals, so you can clip in one side or just ride flat-footed. But I've enjoyed clipping in now. So anyway, I will try to stop rambling on here, but I just can't say how much I really like this bike, and it's been great. I highly recommend it. I'm gonna give you guys a little teaser for my next, probably the next video. But 2 days ago, I had new bike day. So are you ready for it? I'm gonna give you a little teaser because I'm gonna do a separate video on it. But I've got my new bike in the rack. I've got the wheels off it already. New tires are on the way. Should be here any minute from UPS, transferred to the post office. And we're getting the tubeless set up. So I'm going to do a separate video on the new bike, and I'm super excited because new bike day is always awesome. But anyway, this is on the 7.2 Trek FX if you're looking to get back into cycling, get it. I hadn't ridden in almost 20 years, and when I bought this bike, it's been about 5 or 6 years now. So yeah, all right, guys, hope you're doing well. Thanks for watching the channel. I've got a lot of new subscribers. Really appreciate you guys, and appreciate you watching. Please hit that subscribe button. Like the video if you like it. If you have any comments or questions, please go ahead and ask them. I would be happy to respond. And we will catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.